Alright guys, Full of Sports coming to you with another video. I hope all is well with you guys. So we just witnessed the Shakur Stevenson Oscar Valdez fight, and rather than Floyd Gotti, it played out like Floyd versus Canelo, where one guy was at first trying to box, trying to box the boxer, and then realized that that wasn't going to work, so just went to try to look for the lucky shot and try to look for a big punch, but that big punch never came. Floyd said something very interesting in fighting Canelo. He said angles, right? Erislandy Lauder used those same angles against Canelo. We remember that he would get off his things and then angle out. And that was the name of the game with the Shakur Stevenson Oscar Valdez fight. There was one time in the fight where Shakur did like a check hook and knocked Oscar Valdez down, and he angled out of it. And I'm like, that's them angles, man. And so when we look at the fight and look at like the dynamics of the fight, literally Oscar Valdez had one plan and one plan alone, and that one plan didn't come into fruition. The first plan to try to box did not work. You can't outbox a boxer, especially when you lack those things that the boxer has. However, one thing I can say that I liked about Shakur is that, Oscar Valdez fans will say that, oh, he was running and stuff like that, but a majority of the fight he stayed in the pocket. He was at range where Oscar Valdez could hit him, but it's simple that when you have like reflexes that are very quick, then you're not going to get hit. That's just the bottom line. It's just, that's it. Shakur utilized the Philly shell and all types of things, to get the job done. So with that being said, it was like, yeah, man, impressive performance by Shakur. But unfortunately, he won't get credit. The usual things will come out, pillow-fisted, despite stopping Jamal Herring in his last fight, his last outing. And, it got to the point where Oscar Valdez couldn't throw any punches because, if he threw punches, it's basically like opening a door. I kind of compare it to opening a door, and then when you open the door, like there's like paintballs flying at you. You know what I mean? And every time you keep on opening the door, the paintballs keep on coming, and that's basically what happened in this fight. Oscar Valdez literally had one plan and one plan alone, as I said. But the thing is about Shakur is that the sky's the limit. The sky's the limit with him. There's another guy I like. His name is Abdullah Mason. That's another guy to look out for. He seems like he's going to be solid. He's going to be skillful. Looking forward to seeing him fight, stuff like that. I think a Cleveland-based fighter. But other than that, man, kudos to Shakur. It was a good win. I think at this point, like, Oscar Valdez knew he was gonna lose, you know, like that's the thing. Like when he even went into the ring, the energy, you can just tell his energy was not there in terms of like really being confident in himself. I'm like not trying to be disrespectful, but he looked like a defeated fighter. And that just goes to show you the rather inferior coaching skills of Eddie Reynoso, who does not teach footwork, but rather teaches putting your head in a position to get hit. You know, because, you know, even my boxing coach, although he teaches head movement, the first thing before the head movement he teaches is footwork. And in the school of boxing of Eddie Reynoso, he does not teach footwork because none of his fighters have footwork. And that showed tonight in this fight. You know, footwork is more important than actually throwing a punch. You know what I mean? It's a tedious thing to work on, but, you know, we work on it like 25-8 in the boxing gym. And, you know, I think because of the level of fighters Oscar Valdez faced, that he was probably thinking that, oh, okay, I can just land some big stuff. But I mean, if a guy is right in front of you and you still can't hit the guy because of his footwork, because of him taking like half an inch, half a step back, half an inch back, and you're still missing, it's like, so what is your plan? What's plan B, right? And there was no plan B. That's just the bottom line. Now, one final note I want to say is that two final notes. Oscar Valdez, his face looked like whatchamacallit afterward. His face looked like hamburger meat after the fight. Number two, you know, Shakur Stevenson, you know, he's a Latin fighter, believe it or not. The thing is, his dad is Puerto Rican. You know, his biological father is Puerto Rican. But the unfortunate thing is, due to his complexion, it won't like really win the Latin fan base. You know, maybe if he claimed this a little bit earlier in his career, he would win the Latin fan base. But you have guys like who you wouldn't even know who were Dominican, who were Puerto Rican, and things like that. Like, for example, Fabulous, you know, Dominican. AZ, another Dominican. The rapper Joel Santana, he's Dominican as well. And so, you know, with Shakur Stevenson, although he's Puerto Rican, you know, this unfortunately still doesn't matter with the Latin fan base, because the majority of the Latin fan base, no disrespect, you know, you know how they feel about fighters of our complexion. You know how they feel, no matter where they're from too, you know, be it Africa, be it America, be it, you know, Latin America. But you know, kudos to Shakur. I don't know what's gonna happen next for him. Perhaps maybe I don't know, a move up to 135, you know, maybe fight Devin Haney after the George Kambosos smoke clears. But yeah, I mean, kudos to him. He did what he had to do. And also he showed a different dimension. He actually was in the pocket and actually bullied Oscar Valdez, and was actually in times during the fight trying to walk him down. but that never came. You know, and of course he just made Oscar Valdez smother his work too. But y'all let me know what y'all thought of the fight. I thought if I had to give a grade of Shakur Stevenson, I would say an A minus. It would be an A plus if you got the stoppage, but you know you're not going to stop everybody. You know what I mean? And probably Oscar Valdez is still on that ish, so that's another factor too. But anyhow, Poole signing out. Enjoy.